What's up, everybody? Welcome back. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps me out and it keeps you up to speed on everything we're doing. Today's project, though, is we're installing a VERTIYAK hitch mount kayak carrier. Now, these are made to be mounted into a 2-inch trailer hitch receiver, but we bought a bolt-on hitch receiver so we can mount it on the back of our camper here. So I'm gonna get everything unpacked, opened up, and we'll get it mounted up on this thing. Let's do it. The VERTIYAK, it's pretty simple and it comes mostly assembled. You have your base piece here that goes into your hitch receiver and the top part extends up. You have your securing post. This goes near the middle, the bottom cradle, and the top cradle. It comes with the hardware and some instructions. Now, like I said, this is intended for a 2-inch hitch receiver. Obviously, there isn't one on the back bumper of our camper yet. So I bought a bolt-on hitch receiver kit designed for a 4.5-inch square tube bumper, just like our camper has. Same thing, it's got the plates that are gonna go on either side, the 4 bolts to tighten it. I specifically chose this one because it's got a nice tensioning bolt so you can keep your hitch from bouncing all over the place. Comes with the pin and everything. So I'm gonna grab one of the kayaks. I think I wanna stick them right in this space between the window and the ladder. So I'll get that centered up and measured. And then I'm gonna start getting all these pieces bolted on here. It's a pretty simple kit, pretty straightforward install, so I'm not gonna do a lot of blabbering. I'm just gonna show you how I'm doing it. The hitch receiver needs to be centered with the VERTIYAK. The VERTIYAK is 37 inches wide, and I don't want it to bang against the ladder on this side. So I'm gonna put the center point of my hitch, the center point of the VERTIYAK is 18.5 inches. So I'm gonna give myself a couple inches of space and mount the center of my hitch 22 inches from the edge of the ladder. So that way I should have plenty of space that the VERTIYAK isn't banging against the ladder as we're going down the road. So the way this works is just super simple. Your bolt goes through from the top, slip the plate on underneath, a lock washer and a nut. I'm not gonna have enough hands. There we go. Lock washer, nut, so on and so forth. Get all 4 bolts put in, get all 4 bolts started. And then you can tighten them up. Try to tighten them down as evenly as you can. Remember, you're not trying to crush your square tube bumper here. You're just trying to get this thing tight and secure so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, got my Loctite here. I'm just gonna put a little dab in each nut. And then I'm gonna get these all snug down nice and tight. There we go. Got my Loctite on my bolts. So I'm gonna keep this thing as tight in as I can so there's not as much force, as much leverage, prying it out and pulling down on the bumper. Nice and even. And I'm gonna get all these bolts tight. These happen to be 18mm. Looking to make sure I have about the same amount of thread out of all these bolts. I'm going to use my torque wrench. I'm going to tighten these in 2 stages. I'm going to go to 30 pound-feet the first time. Make sure they're all nice and tight. I'm going to tighten them crisscross. And then I'm going to tighten them one more stage up to 40 pound-feet. There we go. All right, now that's not gonna move. So let's get this VERTIYAK put up here. Okay, so the next thing the instructions say to do is figure out how high your lower bracket needs to be from the ground to make sure your kayak doesn't drag when you go over bumps and things like that. Now the kayak sits down into this opening. So the opening is 17 inches wide and 11.5 inches deep. My kayak is also our longest kayak. It's only 9.5 inches deep, so that's not going to be my limiting factor. The width is. So where I find 17 inches wide, which is right about there, I need to measure from that point to the bottom of it. 24 inches. 24 inches is the minimum height that I need to have this bracket at. Realistically, I want to have some clearance. So I'm probably going to put it at about, I think I'm going to go a whole 12 inches. I'm going to put it at 36 inches. That way, hopefully, I'm not dragging my kayak if I go over a steep bump or a railroad tracks or something like that. Alright, so 36 inches would be right there. I'm going to go up one hole higher. Right there. Now at the top of the VERTIYAK, that position, you get a bolt. Yep, a bolt. And the bottom is a pin. Before I bolt everything down, I'm going to put the pin in and make sure I have the clearance that I think I'm going to have. Okay. So I have it there. Ah, see? Glad I checked. So in that position, about 14 inches of clearance between the tip of the kayak and the ground. Climbed up on the roof and measured, and with it set up like that, the tip top of my kayak is at 13 feet high. Most highway underpasses are 13.6, so I really don't want to put it any higher than that. I really don't want to go any lower than where it is, so I think this is going to be the best neutral zone that I should be fine in most situations. And I'll just have to keep in mind if I'm going to be going over some steep grades or anything like that, I need to make sure the kayak isn't getting caught. There we go. So that's there. This is an extension of the top piece one. There. And that gets secured with another bolt. Top hole first. good, nice and tight. Now the last thing I'm going to do on this is wrap the upper and lower with some pool noodles. The manufacturer, VERTIYAK, actually recommends that to help protect your kayak from the metal framework. So I'm going to do that real quick and then we'll get the kayaks loaded up. Alright, so I got my pretty pink pool noodle here. Just gonna put a slice down the side. I'm just going to wrap it around on the inside here. And then hold it in place with some zip ties. Conveniently enough, I even have some nice pink zip ties that match. Oh, and they are going to be just Alright, well, it's ready. Let's get the kayaks into this thing and see how they fit. I don't think those are going anywhere. No, those definitely aren't going anywhere. Awesome. Really awesome. All right. Project complete. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. And I'll leave a link to VERTIYAK's website in the description. If you want to get one of these for yourself, you can. My guess is if you're watching this, you already have one. But pretty easy to install. The only complaint I could possibly have is that the powder coating is so thick, it makes it difficult to get the bolts through the holes and the hitch pin through the hole. But otherwise, nice product. We're headed out on a trip this weekend, so I'll be able to give a report back on how this thing works and what we like about it and if there's anything we don't like about it. Thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out and I want to hear your feedback. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care.